5.
Kendall Graveman recently signed a 3-year, $24 million deal with the Chicago White Sox on the heels of by far his most successful season to date. Last year as a whole, he had a 5-1 record, the 1.77 ERA, a .98 whip, 61 strikeouts across 56 innings pitched, 10 saves, and allowed 0 earned runs against right-handed hitters. With Seattle, he had a 4-0 record with a .82 ERA, a .70 whip, 10 saves, 4 holds, 33 innings pitched, and 34 strikeouts, with the 21.5% K- walk rate. Even with Houston, he was 1-1 with a 3.13 ERA, a 1.39 whip, 7 holds, and 27 strikeouts across 23 innings pitched. What we saw is a K rate drop a little bit from 28 to 26%. Walk rate did go up, but what we did see is we saw the zone contact rate actually drop. We saw a pitch change resulting in a little bit of a shift in the tilt on his slider to mirror that sinker. We saw a 20.1% swinging strike rate exclusively on that slider and a 16.2% whiff rate on that same pitch. And he went to a more conventional four-seamer from that cutter. What we saw is a much more dominant Kendall Graveman. In 2021, all 4 of his pitches had a K rate above 16%. The Chicago White Sox have a great 8th inning guy. If something were to happen to Liam Hendriks, we could see a potential 9th inning role for a pretty late investment in Kendall Graveman.
4.
While unlikely to accumulate saves like many of the other more heralded options, Collin McHugh is one of our highest-rated free agent relievers. After opting out of the 2020 COVID-impacted season, McHugh returned to form as an elite multi-inning middle reliever in 2021 for the Rays. McHugh boasted a sparkling 1.55 ERA and .94 whip across 64 innings for the Rays in 2021, carried by a 30% strikeout rate with only a 4.9% walk rate. McHugh has done this in a rather unconventional manner, as he hardly relies on his fastball, since it averages 90.6 miles per hour, which is in the bottom 4th percentile. In 2021, he replaced his four-seam fastball with a cutter and continued to ramp up his slider usage up to 52.9%. Both offerings were elite pitches, earning a CSW rate of 37.7% on his cutter and 35.4% on his slider. His ability to throw multiple innings while maintaining elite ratios is what differentiates himself from other relievers and can help drive his fantasy value. Given the decline in pitches per start across baseball, middle relievers are more important than ever, and McHugh should be a target for nearly every major league team once a CBA is finalized.
3.
Heading into the 2021 fantasy baseball season, Mark Melancon was off almost every drafter's radar. However, Melancon secured the job in San Diego early by striking out 14, having just 1 walk, all while converting 9 save opportunities before the calendar even hit May. Then, Melancon plodded through the summer, led the majors with 39 saves, with a 2.23 ERA over 64 and 2/3 innings pitched. Melancon pitched in back-to-back games on 16 occasions, posting a 1.13 ERA. Now he hits the open market as a reliable 9th inning option. He threw his cutter 63% of the time, curveball 35% of the time, and mixed in a four-seamer on rare occasion. He's not going to strike out a ton, as evidenced by his career 22.3% K rate, but Melancon pitches to weak contact, with an 88th percentile average exit velocity. At 37, he isn't long for the game, but in 2022, Melancon will again be among the top save getters, given the right circumstances.
Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel to get the best relief pitcher content on the market once the season resumes.
2.
Reports of Kenley Jansen's demise were greatly exaggerated. After losing 2 miles per hour on his cutter in 2020 and giving up some save opportunities in the playoffs, there were those who worried that Jansen had lost it. But the 34-year-old rebounded in 2021 with a 2.22 ERA, 1.04 whip, 38 saves, and a 31% strikeout rate in 69 innings pitched. his cutter velocity jumped back up to 92.5 miles per hour, and he continued to use the sinker as a major part of his arsenal. In fact, his sinker actually performed better than the cutter in 2021. Both had an identical 16.5% swinging strike rate, but the sinker allowed a 2.6% barrel rate and had a deserved ERA of 1.31 compared to the cutter's 2.61 rate. However, the bigger change for Jansen was the increased usage of his slider. He threw the pitch 15.4% of the time in 2021 after only throwing it 9.6% of the time in 2020. What's more, he added 2 inches of vertical movement to the pitch this year while reducing some of the horizontal bite. The result was that the slider had the highest whiff rate and swinging strike rate of any of his pitches. While 2021 was a strong year, there were a few warning signs for the veteran, as his walk rate jumped from a career 7.3% mark to a 12.9% mark this year, which caused his K- walk rate to plummet to a career low 18%. He relied far more on BABIP luck with a career low 213 BABIP, but he also induced the 3rd highest ground ball rate of his career. So while his SIERA and XFIP suggest Kenley is due for regression, it's possible that the increased reliance on the sinker and slider are making the veteran a different pitcher. While he may not be the dominant force in the 9th inning that we're used to, he now possesses 3 offerings with a CSW over 31%, and should remain a solid closer for a few more years, wherever he ends up.
1. At number 1 on our free agent list for Reliever Recon, it's no surprise it's Ryzel Iglesias. Not only did he finish second in the American League with 34 saves last year, but he set career highs in strikeout percentage at 37.7%, a career low in walk rate at 4.4%, and also set a career high in swinging strike percentage. The Angels were 66-0 with the lead after 8 innings, with a lot of credit going to Iglesias in those high leverage moments. Yes, he gave up 11 home runs in 2021, but he's the 7th Angels reliever with at least 100 or more strikeouts in a season, and since 2017, he's recorded 37 saves of at least 4 or more outs, which leads the major leagues. Best of all, with the sticky substance crackdown, Iglesias showed no signs of rust. In fact, from June 21st forward to the end of the season, he recorded a 1.33 ERA, a 0.79 WHIP over 40.2 innings, with 60 strikeouts and only 5 walks in them, resulting in 22 saves. Thanks again for subscribing to Reliever Recon. Until next time, we are out.